Hi everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of our podcast series Future Ready Systems with Krishna Kumar. And as always, we have Mr. Krishna Kumar with us to lead this session. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. That's awesome. Again, back on the same stage.
Yes. So in the last episode, we talked about estate and legacy systems and how companies try to modernize it. And but there's something interesting. Even though the companies set up systems, they modernize the systems. Even after all this, many teams still say that the air feels slow. And they're like it's unhelpful and it's not so good. Why is it so?
Kind of, it's like a waste of money.
Yeah.
Why do we invest so much in AI and that doesn't give the performance or the output?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why?
Yes.
So I was just wondering why doesn't these teams face like that?
See, basically, what happens is any team member, any user, they look at the packaging or look at the front end of that. They don't have any idea what's behind that, what's under the hood, like we see in a car. How do you go and purchase a car? We initially see how the model looks like, what colors are good. That's the first thing that attracts us. And that's the first thing that detracts also. So this is what happens in AI also. For the user, it's just what comes on the screen for him. And when he hits the keyboard or clicks on the mouse, what comes next and how fast it comes and how clear clarity or maybe the quality of data that comes, that's very important to him. Other than that, for him, it's all the same, whether it's a Ferrari or a BMW or maybe a low-end car. It's all the same for him.
So in this question, what say feels fast in the tennis, but it feels slow when it comes to famous
Very good question. I will start with a story or maybe a kind of thing. Have you seen how the cars sell you the models? They tell you on real time we get a mileage, so X mileage. It pushes from 0 to 100 kilometers in this many seconds. That's in a real time or a lab testing model that they have. Does these figures actually come when you drive on the road? No, exactly no. And the same is with the air. Whatever you do, the testings that's done in any real-time environment or closed environment, demo model kind of thing. The data is pretty clean and optimized for that. The networks are pretty high-end networks that's being used for that. The servers, which have very low load, performs the best. And so the outcome comes to best in the demo environment. But when it comes to real time, the real roads, there are holes, potholes, there are speed breakers, bumpers, the traffic flowing from other, it all slows down. And this is the real scenario. If I connect that with the example I told you, this is the only reason why they feel that the investment has gone waste. People have a tendency of looking how cheaper they can make things. See, anything that's cheaper, it's cutting corners. And that corners may not be the corners that you see, it may be something behind. So, like a car, every car has four wheels. It takes you from place A to place B. The minor differences in the acceleration speed, minor differences in the fuel consumption, then the differences that you feel is emotional. The feel that you get when you sit inside the upholstery, more than the feel of the upholstery, it's your eyes which take care of what looks good, how nice the aesthetics are, how nice the colors are, and that makes a major difference. Then the particular 25% or 30% difference comes in the seat covers, that how cozy they feel, how smooth they are. These are the things that affect. Does anybody really look at the engine behind the hood and see, no, this engine doesn't look good? No one does that. this is actually what happens in real time. People want the front end, the look and feel, and the spirit also. They've seen it doing great and awesome when it's in test lab. When it comes to real roads, they find it's not. It's again. This way against that.
So the problem is for AI, it's the surrounding it is.
Absolutely. See, any system you build, maybe in software or tech division or any hardware you build, it all depends, the outcome and the performance of that depends on what is fed in and which environment you are placing it in, and what are the cohesives you view into that environment which can make this thing perform better and faster and more comfortable. So once that is not taken care of, the whole thing starts breaking down slowly. And this is what really happens when you go for a low cost version. When you go for people who don't have the kind of commitment to doing what they have been doing, and it's always like you see in a salesperson, in software development, the salesperson is who sells. You hardly get the tech person who is going to do this onto a call before the salesperson. But if you get a tech guy who is going to do that and he explains to you the way he has understood your problem, and if you can explain that in a way better than you can explain your problem, he's the right guy to do that. And right guys don't come cheap. You can't take purchase apples that are cheap and say the quality is bad.
So what is actually happening behind the scenes of the AI that is happening?
So very small question, but very big and deep tech answer into this. What really happens? Think over, you have any application that's running on a server. There is a front end and a middleware at the back end for any application. There are applications where the middleware is reduced to an extent, maybe just runs on APIs, and the back end is the database which caters to all this. I can give you a simple example. You have a good amount of data on your databases, the past data, and you are running a system over that, but you host your database on a small server, and that also runs the front end and middleware on the same server. How do you expect the data to be database to be performing and giving you results in a pretty good way? Whereas in a test environment, you have the data residing somewhere else, you have the middleware somewhere else, you have the front end on the laptop for the front vision, but it's running from a server, which is very powerful. Even if a laptop is a server, it's powerful as long as only one or two people are using it. The more number of users, it degrades. If you sit in a car with one person, where you have a 5 person in the car with a back front full of a load, it has to go down. The same thing happens with servers also. The starting of the interaction, what someone logs in, that's fine. That goes to the database, queries, checks in authentications, get back to you. And the time taken for that is what's the time that's delayed or comes first. Now, small query for a database, just for picking up the user credentials will not be easy because it's filtering and bringing it out from there. But think of a database which has 20,000 users or 1 lakh users, and you run this query, and this, it's like a notebook library. You need to go and search across all the line items where the gentleman is. And that search has to be so unique that every character needs to be seen as the same leader. The capital also is important. So there you can't reduce the speed. So automatically the speed of the server is reduced. If the data architect, the most important person in the whole thing, is never the person that's looked after. No one wants that unless they start performing lower. And the first thing the sales guy or the customer looks at cutting is the architect. Because they know I can architect that. You can't architect that. Because you cannot visualize what will happen when 10,000 users. Not the architect can visualize. You cannot see that dream. You cannot paint that picture. It doesn't happen. Architect who has been doing this for years, he started from coding, he started from database development. He's the guy who knows what can happen when so many load comes in. That too from different geographies. There are a lot of so different kind of criteria that makes a major difference. Other than that, what happens is you give a query and that I want to get the list of all customers who I have sold or my team has sold in the last 6 months. It goes to database queries. The database picks up from the data tables, which is around the 10 lakh line items. It has to filter through those, run through all those things, find the combinations of customer name and customer ID and the dates also, the last sold dates. Then pick it up, make it a file, send it across to you. Then your middleware and front end takes care, list it out for you in a particular format with the look and feel. Timeline has to be there. Unless someone that serves the data that is served there is faster and the data that comes in the format that the front end likes and is being programmed and optimized for, and the delivery is faster. There's so much of optimization. How many development teams have taken care of this? They haven't thought of this optimizations. How many clients have told you, have you optimized the database? Nobody has even thought of them. Nobody has even spoken of that. Never. Across the development stage, across the signing off stage, this is not taken care of. This is where the things get stuck. Unless you are ready to spend money and get the right team who thinks of these things, spend some time on thinking and developing the modules, all the functionalities, all the API calls, which is optimized to the maximum possible. If that happens, you have a error in the first stage of that. This is one part. The second part, what happens is you have your data lying in different databases. You ask for the customers, the next you are going and ask how many orders these customers are given. It goes to some other table, picks up all the orders, connects this with this data you have got, or rebuilds this data from the customer table to different databases and picks up from there. There is no caching system mechanisms available. So the data is not optimized. The data is there are a lot of duplications, and you are gone. I'm going a bit technical behind this because it's always running series. The people who have seen earlier, they know the basics of it. Now going deeper into this. Asking one question: how many of these development teams, or maybe how many of these clients who have some technical knowledge, or they presume they know technicality, have even thought of a word known as normalization? And that's the most important thing that's learned in the basic stage of any database developer and forgotten. They never use it. There are 5 stages of normalization. If you run your database while developing into these 5 stages and optimize that, you won't have these problems. And ask the database developer, have you heard the word normalization? And he goes blank. And tell the developer you need to spend 50 hours for normalizing the database, you come and don't joke. There's nothing to normalize. And they find there is something to normalize, really that is important only when they have their customers growing and they start crying that this is junk. So it's not the problem of one quarter, that the development team or the architect. There is a problem of the client also. The founder also, who needs to understand there are multiple things that needs to be taken care of in case you are thinking or dreaming of building something big, something where you are going to bring in your customers to grow. Now you tell I am going to normalize data when I have 10,000 customers, it's like you are going to rebuild the whole thing when you have 10,000 customers. Only normalization does, but a lot of changes has to happen. Unless you understand that people today, the condition is I want to build up another Salesforce or maybe build up another Oracle CRM and I have $5,000. Does this work? Have they never thought that Oracle was not built on 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 or $1 billion? They have been spending money on upgrading that. That upgradation is what happens. That's one part during the development stage. Now the second part, what happens is people start cutting costs or cutting corners when it comes to infrastructure. The infrastructure is the base. Whatever vehicle you have, how luxurious it is inside, how great the paint is, if your engine is not able to support that, you are running a boulevard, not a Ferrari. This is where people get stuck. Guys, what I feel is, there are a lot of podcasts, maybe YouTube videos explaining how to do this, how to do that. But there's nothing that's telling, combining these things and telling a founder, these are the basic secrets that you need to understand or accept that they are the base of what you're building. Today's world, you can see AI can build everything. AI cannot do this thing for you. It can plug in pieces from here and there, put something up for you. Can AI do that? All the jobs in the world may go the way the CEO of God says in 6 months or 1 year or 2 years. Do you think human intelligence is rubbish? Do you think experience is waste? No. Experience is learning from the past mistakes. Whereas reading and learning is only understanding someone else's mistake. And you can't really understand that mistake if you don't have experience doing that. That's why it's a gray hairs are important. That's why do you need these old people? Don't have it. You need gray hair.
So there is so much complicated things going behind the interface of the AI, which people usually miss out on and complain about the AI.
That's where people don't understand that. See, there's always a saying, if you want to grow big, you have to change your mindset. You start thinking big. And if you start thinking big, then only you look at the bigger picture. Else, it's like you are sitting in a room and thinking how to design the building. You need to get out on the ground and look at the building and see how you can redesign it.
So the AI is ready to move fast, but it is just waiting for the systems to respond, right?
Exactly.
So what does it mean by digital strategy?
Yeah. Taking your day-to-day life, get onto the road, by maybe in the office timings in the morning, you'll find what's a traffic jam.
Yes.
And when you find all these cars, vehicles, motorized vehicles, different transportation systems on the road, the same way you're looking digitally, it's all the different parts of data that's moving through the road. The road is the internet, all the network connectivity that you have. It's going. That's what the equivalent of that. It's like you have a Ferrari. If you put it on a racetrack, you can leave with 260 kilometers or 160 miles or 200 miles kind of speed. But if you put it in the normal traffic, the morning traffic, back to not on a very good road, where do you stand? Even if there is a space you find, you can accelerate, you won't be able to do that because there is bumps, there are potholes, there are speed breakers, there are red lights in between. The same thing happens in digital traffic. And all this infrastructural problem is what mainly causes the speed or optimization or the performance of that. It degrades that to a great extent, which you see only on the front end. Because you have no access to the back end, you will only know your Ferrari engine is heating up when an indicator comes on a dashboard. Whereas it has been heating up for quite long. When it comes on dashboard, that's a red signal, you need to stop. You have come to that stage. But you can see how nice a road is or how complicated it is from a windshield. And that's real-time updation. The same with this. Unless you have someone who monitors that, takes real-time data updates from servers, from databases, from the networks that's been installed, you don't know that this is going to stop at one point of time. And you know only when the red light comes. Stop. So this is where people get stuck. Yeah, it's basically more about education of the founders, education of the tech leaders. Most of the tech leaders have experience onto this. At some point of time, the major concussion comes when you have non-tech founders who are trying to build something and they have heard of a lot of things on the social media. They have been reading those things, and those all are piecemeals. Yes, information is there, but those are piecemeals, and you don't know how to crack the puzzle. And unless you know how to crack the puzzle, you will not get the whole picture. You'll be only seeing pieces. So someone has to learn how to connect the puzzle, not from a developer point of view, but from an architectural point of view. He needs to Founders need to know that, or they should bring in co-founders who are technically sound, who knows that. Unless that happens, you are spending the money, you are spending a family time, you are spending killing your emotions, and you are screwing your life trying to think and imagine that you are building another Facebook or you are building something junk. And you come to know it's junk only when you really people start find people either not taking it or accepting it, or they start sleeping it after paying the money. And that's a graveyard for them.
So the architectural point of view seems to be very important.
So probably the most bloodline of any application is the architectural point of view, which is seriously not taken into consideration during any of the initial stages of the structure building or the data flow building or the customer flow building. It's never taken care of. We only speak of customer relation, customer UX, customer UI. More than that, what is important is the backend data. UI can be changed. It won't take you $1 billion to change the UI. Changing the whole infrastructure once you're running, it's like you're building the whole thing from scratch again. The only difference is you have something running that people are screaming, and you have to stop that screaming, you are building something. And the most typical problem that comes in is when you want to pump this data from here to there, because this data that you already have in the database is in a kind of junk format. Lot of duplicacies, lot of interconnections that don't connect properly. All these things you need to clean up that and put in it. It's real midnight math for any developers or any database guys for that.
That's a great way of putting it. So the problem is not the engine but the code.
Exactly. Engines are available today. The only thing is how good you can build the road, how nicely you can teach your customers to use that road, and also how nicely you can teach the driver that how he needs to drive on, depending on the kind of road he has. He has to articulate those driving mechanisms. Engine may have the power, he needs to see what kind of driving modes he needs to use.
So it makes me wonder what are the common causes for this digital traction?
Yeah, typical question. We will take it on the top level or the bird's eye view. We will not go into real development coding at this stage because that's not meant for the founders. And we are talking to the founders. The founders need to know on the top level what are the major things. One of the major things is the slow databases. Either you need to upgrade the database or make sure those databases are put up on the right kind of servers. Then also make sure that the data that's been pumping into the database is cleaned up. Cleaning in the sense there are different ways of cleaning. One is there are no duplications. The database doesn't start lagging or hanging just because you put it duplicated across the tables. Those kind of things need to be optimized, number one, and that can help you there. Whereas second is there are too many system calls. See, for small things you can have a few system calls, but not for every damn thing. The developer and the database architect should articulate this in such a way that the maximum data that can pick up on one call and utilize it multiple times is the best way to do that. Rather than every time you want to purchase, for example, purchasing grocery for your home, for every small item in a list of 10 items, you go 10 times and pick it up. Rather than pick it up once, it makes a difference. The same rule follows here. And the next is the architecture automation. As usual, every second day you find new frameworks coming in, new security features being plugged into all servers, to the front end, to back end, middleware. This needs to be updated. This updated change needs to happen. And only you can say your data is not only secure, it's also fast. Even if it is cleaned up, for this updates needs to happen on a regular and maybe weekly kind of review has to be done by the team and keep on updating that. It's not that you build something and forget it for the next 5 years. It cannot happen. There was a time it would happen, because the upgrades to technology were pretty slow. It was maybe in 4 years or 5 years a new framework needs to came with updated versions. A year, every week or maybe a month you find an updated version. It's not that you need to go in for all beta versions, but yes, beta someone needs to test. Surely not your team, but someone else tests that. And once it becomes stable, utilize it. But these betas are released for the development team and the founders to understand that something new is coming up and be prepared for that change when that comes up to the stable version. It's not that it's coming out of the blue for you and you don't know what to do. These are one of the things that next is what we feel is network latency. I did suggest IP6 has come, network 6 has come. How many of you have upgraded your network to get into 6? We are still, most of the IP4 is being used across, which has a decade long bandwidth network. We are still using that. How many of you have migrated to IP6? Yes, there are a lot of new systems that your body has the option for IP6. Your phones have the IP option for IP6, but how many of you upgraded? Because upgrading that entails making upgradations in your system for you. And people don't want to send the money. Yeah. Now, if you don't want to spend the money, how do you expect things to improve or keep stable? It cannot happen. With IP6, what happens? Network speed is more. When the speed is more, the transfer of data is more. Transfer of data is more, you have faster data. And you go and blame the UX guy, go and blame the servers, go and blame the databases. This small change in a network can make a huge difference. The servers going up. I don't feel hardly 10% or 15% of the bigger enterprises are still migrated to that, even in our same versions. That's why we are getting stuck. Then we don't have a proper plan, an architecture, a strategy for caching of data. It's like I mentioned again, purchasing 10 grocery items, going 10 times. If you can know that I would need this 10 items in the next 10 days or next 2 days, and for example, you need tomorrow again. If you can bring that today itself and keep it, number one, or make sure that you order that tomorrow morning also needed, the transfer will be faster. It becomes faster. So this is what needs to happen. Unless these basic qualities are not met at all, you are going to have problems with the systems. How good a development team, how senior a development team, this is going to come. It's not about the seniority of development team. It's about their learning process, learning curve. It's about their how coachable they are. They're ready to learn. Then how good team leaders or how good architects you have with the team who are connected to each other, not people from different places, speaking different languages. Because human connection is what makes the flow of data between two brains more comfortable, more smooth. And if that happens, the loss of data between connecting is not there. So what the architect wants to make the developer understand, it becomes easier. This guy exactly understands. We have seen lots of videos in maybe your Instagram, Facebook kind of thing, where you have teams standing in a queue. One guy from the behind tells something to the front guy, he goes transferring. By the time the first guy reaches, this is totally out of sync. He must have asked for an apple, this guy is providing a mango. This is what happens. So that has to be there. The team needs to be interconnected to each other. They should have experience work together for some time. And that's what helps grow the teams. People don't look at the basics of life. See, whether it is digital or personal or human relation, there has to be connections. There has to be emotions. Unless this happens, you cannot get things done. That's the reason AI is generating whatever they want. Where software developers generate what you want. That's the difference. So what do you want at the end of the day? Whether what you want or what AI wants. It's
up to you to decide.
Exactly.
So it's never one problem solved. It's a combination of many things. So that explains why you get frustrated easily.
Exactly, because reworking on the same thing again is what kills the team's thought process. Number one. Number two, every third day, every weekly review, you bring up a new feature. For you, it's a small feature, but for this feature to work, there are a lot of changes that needs to happen everywhere. Whereas, look at a scenario, every week you're changing the database, you're adding new functionality, new tables to the database. Do you ever think that every time a table is added to a database, we do the normalization? You don't. You ask for something, they add the tables run there. So at the end of the day, when this all things run as an engine cohesively, you find these parts going slow. They create more friction. More friction is more heat. More heat is slow data. And this is what kills the whole thing. The whole thought process, the whole idea of generating something for someone. Why do you think 80% to 90% of the startups fail? They go into it. This is one of the reasons for that. It's not that the idea is bad. They had a good idea. There was a gap in the market for them. They couldn't build it properly, number one. Number two is they couldn't sell properly. Because they have not thought of selling till the time this is ready for launch. So it's like you're building or making a nice cake, not knowing whose birthday it is or whose wedding anniversary. You're just making a cake. And whether the guy whose birthday is available to accept this cake, you should know. You are not doing it. So there's a lot of breaks in between. Founders need to delegate tasks that they are not good at. Even if they are good at something, while building a company, they need to delegate things to make sure that each of the teams work in tandem with each other and they get what is expected from the top level of a founder. Whereas today's founders, they start going to coding. They forget the market. Founders should be actually talking to the ICP, their ideal profile customer. They should be talking to them, understanding what the customer needs. In one of the episodes earlier, I had given an example of a company which built biscuits for dogs, and the company had to shut shop. The fault is not with the quality, the fault is not with the marketing, the fault is not with the idea, not with the market gap it had. It was all correct. The fault is they never spoke to their customers and asked what they want. To get a real feedback, you don't do a survey. Survey 100 people, they will give you absurd answers. Because they are not your customers. Ask the customers who are ready to pay you money to solve their problem. And they started paying you. Once they put in the money, someone puts in $1 or $100 and buys something, maybe in a restaurant, and you ask him a feedback, he will give the right feedback. Someone walking on the road asking how's the food in this restaurant, what feedback is going to give you? He will give out of his ideas, his thought process, his environment. That's not the right feedback. You want to build something for somebody, you need to talk to that guy. He will give you the feedback and implement things that come to you out of requirement, not out of relation. Maybe your friend gives you an idea. Anybody in this world needs something for solving their problem. The bells and whistles are add-ons which everyone will like to have. But what they need to have is what we should do. Then you can add on the like to have for them retail, for you to reach your customers, get more, give more to a customer than their competitors can do. These are the add-ons for them. This is not the mother you're building. The mother engine should be exactly what's the pain of a customer for which he is ready to wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning and talk to you. That's the problem. Else you are beating around the bush like they say, or you are working at superficial layer. That doesn't give you results.
That makes sense. So how does this actually affect the employees who are actually using these elements?
Wow, a big question. See, always what people forget is we look at employees as robots. It's not. Employee is an employee because he doesn't have the risk-taking capacity. He doesn't have that big context by which he can build something on his own. He has his own line of problems behind him. To solve those problems, he is being an employee. So there's a limitation in his thought process. We should understand that and accept that. But also not forget that, like a founder, an employee is also having a human brain. He has the same level of commitment, the same level of emotions, if not more than you, because he is more stressed, the same level of thought processes across him. So anything you build for him should look at catering to his emotional thoughts, should give him some level of comfort. Because an employee is an employee because he wants to be comfortable. If he doesn't want to be comfortable, he will go and do something else. He will start up on his own. Because we stay as an employee for years together because we don't want to break our comfort zone. And there's a saying of if you want to break the comfort zone, after which you can see the wall of fear, because that's why we don't want to break that. And if you want to break that, you want to go into learning mode. You need to go into, unless you learn and educate yourself, that is what we call continuous education, you cannot break this. And you have broken this because you have learned something. So with that learning, you have broken your comfort zone, you have left your good paying job, you have left your 9 to 5 kind of comfortable thing. With the family you are staying and enjoying life, having a drink in the evening, a good time at it. You have dropped everything and have become ready to kill 4 to 5 years of your personal life, your emotions, your family life, your society, your friends. You are ready to kill everything to build this. So you have gone out of comfort zone. So working with employees or giving delegating some to employees, look at they have their own goals. They have their own strategies for living. They think of the work-life balance. You don't think of work-life balance. They think of it. Make sure any human being, maybe a founder also to an extent, needs it's very difficult for him to break the comfort zone. And what is a comfort zone? Comfort zone is not a word that a hype that's created that as you can see in the social media. The comfort zone is basically a change. You have been doing something one way and you'll be very happy if that happens the same way. The reason is, the core reason behind this is anything you do for minimum 21 days with consistency and effort becomes a habit for you. Then you start doing it automatically because it becomes a muscular emotion. Your muscles learn that. You don't need your brain to do that. And using your brain to do something is always strainful, and that is what is changed. So people won't do that. So give them something that doesn't bring in this change or the concept of change. You can change human beings slowly. Bring in small things to them. Every third day, fourth day, add a small thing. They won't notice the change. Because here what they're saying is improvements and easiness. Everybody wants to be easy because laziness is a character. So everybody wants to be easy. So when they say things getting easy, but not without a major change, they start adopting it. And over a period of time, slowly, it becomes the same muscular nature, muscular habit, and they start using it. Now what breaks here is you give them something, there are big bang implementation that's happening. There are piecemeal implementation. Both these, the piecemeal should be so piece that they don't know the change has happened. The big bang what happens, one day morning come to office, you find everything changed out. And that brings in the fear of rejection, the fear of non-performance. And fear of non-performance is so bad in an employee. If anyone gets that fear of non-performance, he starts thinking of going to the next place where he will get this comfort. We are losing good employees. So make sure this doesn't happen. And why these fears come? It's because your systems are loading slow, the screens are slow, the results are slow, you have delayed responses from the databases, you have system freezes because it has not been properly checked out, the architecture is not right, when more people start using it, it freezes, there are repeated retries that needs for a result, for a report to be generated. This creates fear, and that fear is what any founder or employer should try to minimize. Yes, you need the employees to keep on performing better, And that's an optimization they can keep on giving them. It cannot be an overnight. Slowly keep on growing, and they will keep on growing without even their knowing that they're growing. Because they do have a pain behind them, and they are working to solve the pain. If you show this pain and tell them this is what they're going to get, and that happens to be peaceful, every employee will be ready to go on themselves. Else, you have a problem as you should.
We should carefully introduce this area to student employees.
More than carefully, the best word is you should do it business. Not a big bang employee development program. It has to be business. Then only the employee accepts it. There are cases I have seen in my experiences while building up something. Some employee has been used to working on a screen which is blue and white. And the new application brings in a new team of the designer marketing team and they put in yellow and green. This employee, just by seeing it, he starts getting the fear, he starts getting his BP goes up. Just try to make sure to make him start using it, you need to give this small thing that he likes. Yes, your marketing concept says this is not good, that's good, fine, hang on. Once they start using this with this own color, blue color, white color, for a bit of time change one blue to yellow, they will accept it. The next 21 days or 22 to 3 weeks or 4 weeks, change the remaining yellow to clear, remaining blue to maybe orange. They will accept it. It's not a concept. It has to be a peaceful period.
So most of the first instinct is to blame the AI. Why do leaders blame the AI first and not the system?
It's because AI is what you spend money now, and you have summoned people, a team of people who have done that. You have somebody to blame in front of you without the repercussion that is going to come back to you. That's one of the best reasons why it's blamed on AI and not on the system. Because this system they have been maintaining, running for quite some time. You have the system, you knew earlier that the systems were bad, and you didn't want to take responsibility for that. But it was you who was supposed to be upgrading those. You didn't do that. Now when AI comes, there's a new guy out of the blue who has put on a hat of a developer or a development team. It's very simple to think your systems are shit. And then this poor guy, because he's not of the style or the level of education, level of experience, you don't have architects, you don't have project managers, this poor small development team, they are forced to take the blame on them. Because they don't know or they cannot respond back to you with data that this is what clogging the systems. So it's very easy. And they say, you drive a car, it's bumpy, you are the owner of the car, you are driving it yourself. Do you ever blame that the car is not going good? It's because your driving is not good? You don't do that. You blame on the road, you blame on the traffic, you blame on the guy who's passing through, everybody you blame other than yourself. Right? Now, change this scenario, you have a driver who is driving, you're sitting in the back seat, a small bump, and you're going to hit him on his head. Because you have that guy who is ready to take responsibility. You have someone who can fire. That's very simple as that.
That makes interfaces. It's easier to blame the interface.
Exactly. It's easier to blame somebody else than taking the blame on yourself. Because see, why don't you understand you are responsible for what has happened? It's your decision. You decided to go with those people. You are happy saying that this is sufficient. You don't need bigger architects. You don't need bigger project managers. You are happy with the infrastructure. You told them you need not worry about the infra. I'll take care. My infra is great. Why don't you take the responsibilities? Because all the decisions which were taken or not taken are the only reasons beside this mission. One of the reasons is you. There is a saying, we always point at somebody else. The three fingers are pointing at you. Why don't you look into yourself? What shit you have done while getting this implemented?
So how can these companies tell that they are actually facing a digital traffic? When do they recognize that?
Wow, simple questions. First answer I'll tell you is, look at the face of the employees in the evening of first day implementation.
That's easy.
That is the easiest way of doing that. You have seen the systems performing, standing behind in their teams showing across doing demos. You know the speed. Watch stand behind one of your employees and see what comes to him. You will know the difference. And in 15 days or 20 days, check how many resignations have come. That's the best indicator to say that your systems are flawed and the team is pressured to perform with flawed systems. Do you need any more answers? Very simple answers. Human characteristics, find them out. Keep your eyes and ears open. Don't go into isolation. Don't go into a blaming mode. Blaming mode cannot be solution. Solutions happen when you take responsibility. You start looking into it. Start writing down on paper what can be reasons. Analyze those things. Rather than leaders have a habit of just getting the blaming mode. Blame him, blame me. This guy is not, performance not coming, blame him. This guy is not good. It's not his problem, the system is flawed. You are performing the labor estimate. Till the time you put this new thing in.
Simple. It's very simple. So, once they recognize this, what can be done? Like, what can be the next step these leaders take?
The next step is sit with the team, your team and the development team, and try to understand what the problem is first. And for every problem, there is a reason behind it, a real reason, the core reason. And you won't understand that core reason till the time you ask the question 5 times. Very simple. It's a very simple mantra that's secret, top secret for you. Utilize this from today onwards in the organization. You have a sales team coming and telling you the sales is low. You start with that. Sales is low is one question for you. Start asking the same why for all the answers you get for this system. It should be concrete. And the 5th answer you get is the correct problem that you need to solve. Else, what you're solving is superficial problems, which will never kill the real problem. The real problem is always burning inside. That's why these founders are getting mad at them. They find themselves frustrated. They find that this is not the right job for them. They quit. Either they quit on their own or they're forced to stop short just because of this. They are not ready to ask the questions. Fine. Number 1. Number 2, always understand it's because your decision or non-decision that this problem has come. Combine this with the whys, you get the correct solution for it. Be ready to take the risk, number 1. Be ready to take the blame and responsibility on yourself and get in a solution that can solve this particular problem. Don't go all the problems at one shot. Take one, work on that, get it implemented, get it sorted. You will it. You will be successful. 100% you will be successful. Always remember, have the right team with you. Number 2 is your team members, they are experts in something. They are experienced in something and value them. Give them value for their respect. Don't start beating on the head without knowing the problem. It's not their problem. One of the main reasons of the problem is you. Either a decision you did not take or a decision you took. There's a reason for this. So take that and work on something that is amicable and solves your problem rather than blame somebody. Because end of the day, what do you need? You want your company to be successful. You want it to grow. And if that needs to happen, you need to take a break, take the responsibility for failures, and then implement things that can mitigate this. This is big, well-known saying when the previous president of India, Dr. Abdul Kalam, used to say, if there is a successful mission during my space missions, I used to put the team in front of me, press me, and they used to say what happened. If something gets through, I used to come in front of the camera and tell the world that I screwed it up. What happens here? Abdul Kalam is Abdul Kalam, he is an individual, he is a director at that stage. He loses nothing, he knows it's a fraud. But on the contrary, what happens? Your team are so supportive of you. They are 100% behind you because they know that any problem you are there to stand behind them with a brick wall or a concrete wall. They will do anything within their reach, within their capability, or even out of their capability to make sure it's successful. It's the team that can make a company successful. Individuals cannot make. There is a wrong thought process that founders think I can do anything. You cannot do anything. Your team has to be good.
That's a great guidance for the business.
They need to learn that. Human relations, I didn't say every founder should go on, the first course they should do is hiring, firing, maintaining human relations or people management. That's what they need to learn first rather than technology before getting into business. That's the most important thing for them. Unless they learn that, it's not going to help them grow. They may be successful a few clients, a few $100,000. They're looking at big, objectives.
So, how does this affect the AI performance? Like, how does the see these problems change AI performance?
Yes, you should. You have bad roads, you have speed breakers, you have a lot of traffic. What happens? Either you change your driving time, get on the nice roads, or get on the roads they were used to. Same way, employees get back to spreadsheets, manual documentation, put things in their mind and they work it forward. Whereas, if you fine tune this or clean the whole problem behind that, what you would do? You would like to drive your big car, new car on the new roads. But that's what employees would be happy doing that because they are doing more work in lesser time. The way we should look at AI also, which has come up now. AI can enable person to give more output in lesser time. It's not that AI replaces human beings. It's not that. We have one of the examples we find is we have a lot of customer care in bigger companies that are changed to AI. Right? Have you tried talking to this AI chatbots? You get mad. You tell them, keep on asking them. I want to talk to a human. I want to talk to him, and they keep on asking the same question. They tell you the same answer. I cannot write you. So why do I need a customer care? Yes, you must have reduced a few employees. You can reduce the team size, not remove everyone. There are some bigger companies today also who have reduced the sizes. But to get a resolution to a problem, you are taking 3 days to 4 days now. Initially, it was happen on the fly. Because teams are there. AI cannot answer everything. They can just be like a parrot. What you are taught it, you will keep on speaking. Does this human being need this or is he asking this? Interpretation is very difficult. This is where things get screwed. And then we start again blaming on the human resource or blaming on technology. We start saying the customers are not right. How many times we need to tell the same thing again? It's because you have not told the thing in a proper, understanding, emotional, connecting method. So they are coming and asking again. If that's properly done, learned once nicely, nobody will come back to you. So where we are cutting cost, where we are cutting corners is which is destroying the legacy of our company, which is destroying the growth pattern of our company, wherein you should have grown to 1 million ARR in 2 years, you are at 500,000 ARR in 2 years. You should have spent at 250,000 extra, you must have reached the goal. Now where is the loss? Is spending 250,000 loss for you? No, with spending 250,000 also you are gaining again 250,000. That people do not understand. That's where they cut cost. This cost cutting is not going to help you. AI is always supportive. See what happens, you can read more, you can summarize more. Those are the few things you can understand more, you can analyze more. But AI always has its own limitations. It goes into hallucination modes. It thinks that it can be like that. Then it builds story over there. And this poor guy who is using it, he cannot understand whether it's real or it's a story. People get stuck.
So, what would be the one simple step that companies can take right now?
Today, go to a drawing board, sit with your team, identify what the problem is. Last before that question I told you, ask 5 whys. Get down to the core problem. You may have multiple problems. Get down to one problem. Clean it up. Fix it. And then repeat again. It should be a cycle. Take one problem, fix it, implement it, give it to a team, come back to the drawing board, identify the next, fix it. It cannot be at one round fix everything. One nut fixing all bolts is not possible. It has to be a cycle. And this cycle needs to continue. If it is not a problem, it is an optimization. This needs to continue in any company, then only the system gets optimized, and that is where the savings is. Savings is not in AI pushing everything or kind of thing. It's in optimizing your process. How best you can optimize, that the load is less on the user, the blame is almost never on the user, the blame is on the system which needs to be optimized, which needs to be redone. You may need to take different routes, you need to make changes in the process. Do that, that's the good of the company. Every $1 saved by one member of your team in a month converts to how many dollars? Multiply by the number of teams you have, members you have. Look at the bigger picture. The one small picture is just $1, doesn't make a difference. Multiply that, it makes a huge difference in the revenue. More than revenue, it makes a huge difference in the bottom line, the profits. But why does someone do business? It's for profits. If you want to improve profits, optimize your systems, invest earlier, optimize it, and then reap out. It's like you put a mango sapling today and tomorrow you want mangoes, it doesn't come. AI cannot bring mangoes. It can help the tree grow faster. It can tell you when to water, when to do fertilizers. That too is going from the past experiences. The weather condition must have changed. There must be a climatic changeover. The same things won't run. You need human beings to put their brains. So use human beings. Use AI to enhance the performance of your human being, not replace them. And always make sure you have the right team with you. And also, the team you have, they should be taken care of and respected. They should be taken along with you in the goal. Tell your goal. Tell your strategy to your team. They will be working very well. That's what we do.
That's a perfect way to do it.
Exactly.
Step by step.
Go step by step. Let your team get back to you with a problem. They should not be fearful of you. That's what I do. My team knows what's the final deliverable goal. And they break it down into pieces. They come down to me for a strategy. They break it down. They work together. They have a project manager. They have architect. They take care of the whole thing. So deliverables are fine. They take responsibility for deliverables. If you don't give responsibility, how do you think they can perform? And along with responsibility, the most important thing that business owners should say is you should delegate the powers also. They should be capable of taking some decisions. For everything, they should not come and run back to you. They should take decisions. If a member can take decisions, they are capable of that, the performance of the company grows.
So, as we come to the closing of the session, what's the real question every leader should ask?
Am I doing this right? Or am I stuck somewhere? Do I have problems? Is my team not performing? These are the mother questions that should be asked to oneself and start doing it. The most important thing is, am I trying to reduce cost and that direction is affecting my ROI and performance? For the sake of ROI, am I reducing cost unwantedly? Am I reducing performance? Am I reducing quality? These are the key things to do. The most important thing is always understand 90 to 95% of times it's not the AI that's the problem. It's the infrastructure behind that. It's your past ghost in the cupboards that's haunting you. Clean up the past, your data should work. Upgrade your infrastructure, your data The money spent in upgradation, the money spent in development is going to give you a fast ROI, but that fast doesn't start tomorrow. There should be a lean period wherein it doesn't move. Your needle doesn't move, ROI needle doesn't move. And once it starts after that, it moves very fast. This is what every founder should understand. Everything cheap doesn't work. Everything quality or the right team is what works. And what kills adoption is wrong implementation or piecemeal implementation. I say is not that piecemeal. It's implementing only some particular parts. It's like just changing the tires of the car won't give you the performance by what you get after overhauling the engine also. And once that is also done, you need to upgrade the upholstery also. So these things need to be taken care. Not that I'm just changing the tires. I'm putting in new tires, it should work. It doesn't do that. Everything has to go in tandem with each other. Then only your whole engine runs. There are different parts to engine. Your office, your system, your idea, your concept, your service or product is the full engine. Customers are also part of that. The development team is a part of that. The operations is a part of that. The finance is a part of that. The HR is a part of that. And unless these all things go in tandem to each other, you are going for a holocaust. It's going to break down some point of time. And you break down after going to a bigger level, you are falling very badly. For every growth, make sure you know where, to what extent I can fall. And that's only when you analyze the problems, you know the real problems, you can understand, yes, with this problem I'm going to fall till here. And you be prepared for that. Else you go high, climb the Everest and you fall down, what happens? You are gone. You fall 20 feet, what happens? You break a leg. 10 feet, what happens? You get some sprains. It's like that. You need to know where you fall and what is going to affect you. This is the most important takeaway for any founders.
Thank you, sir. It was a great session.
So basically, our key takeaway for the tech leaders who have been into this business of maintaining systems, implementing systems, setting up new things with the AI focus and lights on AI everywhere, who are forced to upgrade their systems by the management, because the management knows, the founders know that it's time they need to upgrade as they're going to be stuck. Please make sure you're talking to the right team, you're getting proper budgets for your implementation, and don't cut corners on the budgets. If you cut corners on the budgets, you're going to get, if you give peanuts, you're going to get monkeys. There's a saying, same way, get the right people on board. Spend time with them implementing each small part of your process, and where needed, get the proper approvals from the management and change the process, divert, make a small change so that it can be brought into a one umbrella, one database, one system, and all the data is available. That's clean. Don't forget cleaning up the room. That's cleaning up the database. Make sure you have the infrastructure upgraded for that. Then only you get the results and the ROI that you're dreaming of. Just building up a system, even if it's AI or with databases, will not do things for you. What will affect is, make sure the infra is optimized for that. Also, take care that your teams, the people who are working on that, are taken into consideration with every UI, UX and reporting system. It's they who are going to use it. Unless they feel comfortable, if you're trying to bring their comfort zone, you need to find new people to work. Always understand it's they who are going to run the show. So take care of them, get the right teams with the right architects who can understand that and who can help you and guide you and push you, cajole you along the way while migrating to move your older data, which is full of skeletons in the cupboard, clean it up and push into it live data. Never go for a big bang change. It doesn't work. They have a lot of problems. You all face a lot of problems with data, missing data and everything. Cleaning up data is one of the major expenses that you are going to face with this. big part of the chunk of the budget is going to clearing of the data because it has been experiences with multiple data sources. You have duplicates, nation remote, the data structures need to be optimized, and go on the cloud, have a great life, and take the benefit of this upgrade. You'll always find people remember you when the upgrade is completed and the teams using it are happy. That's a risk you take in life. So you have to take a risk, take that risk, and get it done nicely. Okay? Thank you. If you feel you are getting stuck, you need support in someone with someone like us, our teams who can help you with this whole migration. We are there to support you. You can get back and get in touch with us. You can find our website on the podcast. Get in touch and we can have an exploratory session and see what your data is, what's your current stage, and what your upgradation plans, what your budgets are, and really, if we would be able to help you do that. It's not get the masters of everything. We can take up everything and do. There are a few things that we would not be doing. Knowledge is an ocean, and we are sitting on the side of that. So in some parts we will not be able to do. And be rest assured, we'll be very honest in saying, I'm sorry we cannot help you, but guide you or point you to direction which you take to get that. Thank you.